Hi guys, with week two finished, I wanted to give my thoughts about some of the action over this weekend of college football, starting with the biggest game of the weekend, which was Texas and Michigan. A lot of hype, not a lot of actually close football because Texas dominated this one. Very convincing win here. Michigan got to really reflect and see what this season can really look like for them now. Very disappointing loss. This is kind of their chance to prove that they're still here. They're still a playoff contender, still national championship contender. And while I still think they can make the playoffs after this loss for sure, it's going to be very difficult. And what they played like against Texas was not very promising. But for Texas, that was a very promising performance. They did look very good. Quinn Ewers looked one of the best QBs in the country. And this Texas team in general looked like a national championship contender, which I expected them to, which many others expected them to. So it's good to see for a Texas fan. Then Arkansas and Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State. Close one. Arkansas kept it close, but Oklahoma State in the end was able to win the game. I thought this one would be close. I think I actually predicted it to be an 8-point game, which it was. I don't think it was the same score, but still. So I did think this one would be close. And so I'm not surprised the Cowboys found themselves in some trouble. But ultimately they did win, so good win for them there. Same story with Kansas State. Close game. Played a tough team against Tulane in New Orleans, but ultimately they did find a way to win. Wasn't probably the way they imagined or wanted it to be, but they did find a way in the end, and they can be happy with that. And they still are a contender to win not only their conference and also make a playoff run. Then there's Penn State and Bowling Green. This one was a lot closer than it should have been. It's kind of confusing too because West Virginia, a team that a lot of people thought could upset them, was very, very much struggled against Penn State in that defense. But then Bowling Green goes to Penn State and scores 27, almost pulls off the upset. So kind of confusing here, but I'm sure this is just one of those games where they probably underestimated their opponent, and then that just didn't result in the best result here. So I'm sure this defense will recover, and Penn State overall is going to be a good team. They still have some big games ahead of them. So then Georgia and Tennessee Tech. Not much to say about this one. Georgia wins pretty comfortably. Then here's probably the most shocking game definitely the most shocking game of the weekend. Notre Dame, after a very, very good win for Texas A&M. That was kind of a 50-50 game going to Texas A&M, one of the most difficult environments to play in. People are unsure if Notre Dame could handle that with a new quarterback in Riley Leonard from Duke. Week one, it seemed like a bad first game for them, and they won. They won pretty comfortably. It was a close game, but they still found a way to win. And Notre Dame, they're ranked as high as 5, I believe. I think they're the 5th ranked team in the country. And then they lost to Northern Illinois at home. I just really don't know what happened. I guess the playmaking was not there. And then, the most surprising part is against Texas A&M. I didn't really show that much, but in this game really did. Notre Dame struggled to find those big plays to score points, and Northern Illinois showed they're also a good team. Now they're ranked 2. For Notre Dame, I don't think this is the end of the world, though. Obviously, they need to find people to step up, make plays after this kind of performance. But ultimately, they still got, if they can win the rest of their games, which I think they can do, I still think they got a shot to get in the playoffs. But they lose another game, it's over for them. So now the pressure's on. I think this could very well be a case of just, well, we won against Texas A&M, so now we're good. We're going to the playoffs, all that. And I just kind of forgot that they had other games to play. So So if you're Notre Dame right now, I think you're definitely concerned, especially about if they have the playmakers to really get this offense going. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think it's the end of the world for the Fighting Irish. And then Utah and Baylor, good win for Utah. So I think they're definitely having a good start to their season. Besides the fact that they seem to have some quarterback problems with injuries. Again, Utah for some reason always has this problem, where it seems like at least last year they did. So yeah, that's obviously unfortunate. But besides that, Utah, another win here. Then Boston College wins pretty easily, well, very easily actually. So not much to say there. And then Louisville meets Jacksonville State. Not much to say there either. Then Iowa State beats Iowa. Iowa, I thought their offense would be better. I thought they needed to score at least 20 points to win this game. They scored 19, so I was correct in that way. Iowa State got 20, and that was enough to win. So clearly Iowa needs some improvement on offense, and that is unfortunate because this was definitely a winnable game for them. And now Iowa State wins this rivalry matchup. So disappointing loss for Iowa, good win for Iowa State. Ole Miss, that offense just keeps going. One of the best offenses in the country, led by Jackson Dart. They keep going with a huge win here over Middle Tennessee. So good things from them. Then Florida A&M and Miami, convincing win for Miami, not much to say there. Cam Ward continues to add to his Heisman case with another big day from him. Then Missouri and Buffalo, big win for Missouri, not much to say there. They're up to number 6 though, so great season for them already, up to number 6. Not something you usually see from Missouri, at least not in the past. Then South Florida kept this one close in the beginning, then towards the end, Alabama pulled away. I thought this one would be kind of interesting because last year, Alabama really struggled against South Florida. And they did at the beginning of this one too, but Alabama really pulled away at the end and proved that they're still Alabama and they're not going to lose these kinds of games that they should win. Then Tennessee, very convincing win against NC State. I thought this one could be very close. NC State's not an easy place to play in, but Tennessee was for them. 41-point win against the Wolfpack. Another up to number 7 in the country. The SEC's so good. I believe that, almost all the teams in the top 10 are SEC teams at this point. You have Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri, Texas, all these teams in the SEC. So very good start to the season for the SEC. Then Ohio State wins easily. Not much to say there. Colorado, if they're going to prove they're still here, that was the game, and they did not. I think the O-line, I was still kind of unsure whether they were going to figure it out or not, and they did not. And I think it's going to be another long season in Colorado. The first game, there were some flashes of greatness where they gave Shedeur actually enough time to throw the ball and make plays, allow Travis Hunter to make plays as well. But in this game, just nothing, just really nothing there. And the O-line, they struggled. And there's also run plays where they needed just a yard, sometimes inches, and they couldn't get it. So it was just very, very bad game for Colorado. The defense actually did okay. Dylan Raiola, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. They held him to 28 points, but still, when your offense, you can't run the ball, you don't have enough time to throw. There's really not much you can do. So probably going to be another long season in Colorado. Not really sure that program goes from here because when you have 2 of the top 5 players in the entire country, probably going to be top 5 draft picks, and you still can't win games. Or I highly doubt they get to a bowl game even. That's not a great sign. Then LSU, comfortable win here. So not much to say there. Oklahoma, close one here. They did get the win, but obviously it's a little bit concerning. Then Clemson beats Appalachian State, and I'll just say there. Good rebound win, though. Now that we see what's happened with Florida State and Notre Dame, these other teams, you can't just assume you're going to win these games. So good for Clemson. They made sure that rough loss against Georgia, but they made sure they took care of business here. Then Oregon and Boise State. I thought this one would be close. A lot of other people did. Boise State's a good team, and they made sure that. Well, this one was I think Boise State actually was winning for a long time in this game, but there's obviously that one touchdown that was very close for Oregon. That probably could have been gone either way, whether the ball was whether it was a fumble or not. But that was ruled a touchdown, and that ended up being a deciding factor in this one. So Oregon does get the win. Boise State, though, I think this is actually a really good game for them too. It's less about the loss, obviously. I mean, obviously you would like to win this one, but they went into Oregon, kept it within a field goal. So I think they're very happy with this, and I think they're my pick to go to the playoffs. And if that happens, this is a very good sign, especially when the committee's considering who they should send the playoff. I think your Boise State, that puts you in a really good position because now you can say we played Oregon in Oregon and kept it within a field goal. So I think that's a good thing for them. Then Arizona, kind of closer than it probably should have been, but they got the win, so it is what it is. Then USC beats Utah State pretty comfortably here, and USC's a contender. USC, they keep doing what they're doing. They can stay healthy too. They're gonna be competing for a playoff spot. If the Pac-12 is still here, it would have been really cool because you would have Oregon, you'd have who's competing for a national championship. Utah, same thing. Not to the level of Oregon, but still competing for a playoff spot. Well, Oregon's competing for national championship, and then Utah's competing for a playoff spot. That's what I meant to say. And then USC having a great year. California looks good. Arizona looks good. Kind of sad that the Pac-12's not here anymore because it would have been a fun year for that conference. But overall, fun week of college football. Obviously, that massive upset with Notre Dame is going to have a huge effect on the rest of the season, whether they get in or not. This is so random. They played really well against Texas A&M. I'm sure I said I think they were guaranteed playoff spot at that point. They could lose another game. Obviously, I didn't think it would be that one and still be fine. But clearly, they probably underestimated their opponent too much, and now they're in a very difficult spot because they really can't lose another game or they're out because they're an independent school and don't have that conference championship game to help them. As always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.